Here's the reason why I don't think 1 through 6 need remakes in the same vein as 7 did. A lot of that has to do with the fact that 1 through 6, especially as they've remade them already multiple times over the years, especially 1, 2, and 3, and 4, because it also got a 3D remake on DS. Like, the 3D remake on 4 for DS, and it's on PC now, that was a really good remake, but it was still in the vein of 4. Like, it still kept the core fundamentals of 4 with some changes to their battle system and progression system and whatnot. 3 was a complete remake from top to bottom, but it still maintained the core aspects that were in the original 3. The remakes of 1 and 2 were graphical upgrades, and also they redid a lot of the battle system as well. But for the most part, like 5 has not changed, and 6 has not changed, aside from their GBA counterparts, which just added more content, but their core systems never changed. But one thing that has always maintained about these games, especially after 1 and 2 got, you know, their remakes into Origins into 16 32-bit, and after 3 got its DS remake, their charm lies in that. Like, I don't want to see like an FF4 or an FF6 with the battle system of FF7 Remake, because one, it takes away from what made these first 6 games special, and that these were the OG turn-based JRPGs back in the day. But also, they don't need it. They don't need a huge monumental graphical upgrade like 7 Remake happened. The reason why it worked so well for 7 Remake is because out of all of them, 7 needed it the most. Because I've always said 16 and 32-bit, especially pixel style, sprite style games like this, these age so much better. That's why I've always said the Super Nintendo is one of those timeless consoles, because so many of its games have aged really well. And that's one of the perks of a 16-bit system, is over time, things that are like, you know, that are pixel based like this, they age so much better with time. They really do. And also when you do like pixel remasters like this, they age a little bit better. Although that can be subjective, because some people don't think they look as good as the originals, and that is subjective, and that's to each their own. I think 4 looks fine. I think 4 actually looks better than 1 through 3 in those regards. Because 4 was already a 16-bit game, and so this just, to me, it looks like it's a next step up. But it doesn't need 4 through 6 don't need it. 1 through 3 don't need it. They don't need a big graphical battle system overhaul like 7 got with 7 Remake. It worked for 7 Remake because out of all of them, even with 8 and 9 and 10 and 12 and all that, out of all of them, 7 needed it the most. Because when it came to the 3D style Final Fantasies, let's just be honest here, 7 is the one that, visually speaking, has not aged well. It just haven't. Those polygons look old as hell. Even if you want to think about it, Final Fantasy VIII, and especially Final Fantasy IX, aesthetically speaking, from a visual standpoint, looks so much cleaner than 7 does. And that's not to crap on 7, because at the time, 7 was a monumental leap forward. It really was. It was a monumental leap forward. But that was in 97. It's been over 20 years. Those polygons have not aged well. Same with games like Ocarina of Time. Visually speaking, those graphics have not aged well. They really haven't. So that's why, in my opinion, from a graphical standpoint, for 7 it worked, but also because 7 needed it. Also, just because of the environment and the way that the characters worked anyway, especially with all the attention 7 has gotten, like with Advent Children and Dirge, and seeing, you know, Cloud and Sephiroth and Smash Brothers and stuff like that, and in Kingdom Hearts, the battle system for them, as far as them being more dynamic and, you know, aerodynamic and a lot, you know, big flashy stuff and stuff like that, with 7 it actually kind of makes sense that, you know, that kind of makes sense to why it could translate so much easier. But see, like, I could never see, like, Dissidia aside, I could never see like Cecil and Kain and Rosa and Edge, well maybe Edge, and Rydia fighting like how Cloud and them do in FF7's world. Because I mean, like in Advent Children, Cloud and Tifa and Sephiroth, they were flying all over the place. They were flying all over the place in that movie. You know, I couldn't see in their own world Cecil, Kane, and Rosa and company doing that in their own world. I just couldn't see it, you know? Because to me, it would just look too weird. It really would look too weird. And Dissidia does not count. Dissidia does not count. No. You know, I mean, it is what it is, you know? But no, I don't think 1 through 6 ever need to go the route of 7 Remake. I don't. These games are timeless. They've aged probably a lot better than any of the later on Final Fantasies, with maybe the exception being 10 from the PlayStation 2 era. But like out of all of them, 1 through 6, especially 1 and 2 on PlayStation 1 from Origins, even 3 on DS, and even with the 3 new Pixel remaster, I really do feel the original 6 have just aged so much better. And this is the style and format that they never ever need to leave, because it's timeless, it's clean looking, and it works for them. And that's how they need to stay.